When Irina opened her eyes in that hospital bed, the world felt unreal. The lights were too white, the air too heavy, her chest too tight, as if the universe compressed into a box. She couldn't fully breathe inside. She tried to focus on anything that would ground her, but everything was blurry and unreal, like she was inside someone else's memory. She only remembered the ambulance, the panic, the moment her legs gave out under her, and how the sound of her heartbeat felt like thunder inside her skull. She didn't know yet that this exact collapse was the beginning of the chapter she secretly always needed more than anything. The first time she saw Anna, she thought it was a dream. There was no chaos in her.
No panic. No harsenis.
Just calm. Dark hair, warm eyes, a tiny subtle softness around her smile that felt like safety. Anna didn't just walk into the room. She entered like someone who already cared, like she didn't need permission to feel empathy. Irina watched the way she adjusted her blanket and checked the monitor, and it didn't feel clinical. It felt like someone choosing you, without words. And inside Irina, something in her chest whispered quietly, "Stay awake for this woman." Every day after that, Anna visited her. At first Irina tried to pretend she was just another nurse doing her job, but that illusion died fast. Anna stayed longer than she needed to. She talked to Irina like she wasn't a patient, but like she was a person she was trying to understand. She told her about the world outside the hospital walls, the loud city streets, the late-night cafes, the way the ocean near the coast at night felt like something ancient and alive. Irina never told her, but she waited for those visits with so much hunger she couldn't control. Sometimes Anna would just sit beside her quietly, not talking, and that silence between them felt warmer than the sun. One night Irina woke up shaking inside. She felt trapped inside fear again, reliving the collapse. She didn't even realize tears ran silently down her cheeks. The door opened, and Anna stepped inside. She sat on the bed beside her without asking anything. She just placed her hand slowly on Irina's hand. And Irina held on to that touch like her life depended on it. In that moment she understood that love doesn't always come when life is perfect. Sometimes it appears exactly when everything is falling apart. Sometimes love shows up in a hospital room at the exact moment you think life stopped being generous with you. Anna whispered, "I'm here. I'm not leaving." And that moment was the beginning of everything. When Irina was transferred to a regular recovery room, Anna didn't hide anymore that she wasn't visiting just because she worked there. She brought her books, little pastries from a bakery she loved, warm chocolate from a cheap machine downstairs. And more than anything, she brought presents. Real presents. The kind that tells you matter. You're seen. One evening Anna came, without her medical uniform. She came in normal clothes, soft sweater, hair down. She looked like a normal girl who walked in not for duty, but because she wanted to. Irina stared at her for a second, realizing that this woman became her anchor so silently that she didn't even notice the transition. Anna sat on the bed, touched Irina's cheek gently, and Irina closed her eyes because she felt her heart beating again. Slowly, steadily, freely. Their lips met in a slow, tender kiss that felt like the safest place in the universe. Not rushed, not burning, not demanding, but healing. A kiss that said, "You survived. And you are loved." But recovery wasn't simple. When Irina officially got discharged, fear came back like a shadow. She didn't know what her life was supposed to look like now. She felt like she was given a second chance, but didn't know where to place it. So she did something impulsive. She left America for a while and went alone to Mallorca, Spain. Not to escape Anna, but because she needed to breathe somewhere new. Somewhere where the world wasn't full of trauma echoes. Somewhere where she could rebuild her nervous system without remembering hospital hallways every time she inhaled. She rented a tiny house near the sea. The air was salty, warm, gentle in a way she never experienced before. She walked the beaches alone. She wrote in notebooks. She stared at the waves for hours. But every night she noticed something. She wished Anna was there. Anna waited in America. She supported her decision. But she missed her in a way that physically hurt. They talked every day online.
Hours.
They laughed, cried, shared fears, shared silence. And slowly, they both understood something crystal clear. Distance didn't weaken them. It made the truth louder. They weren't a hospital story. They weren't just trauma bonding. They were real. One night Anna texted her, "I can't keep loving you," through screens. Irina replied, "Then come to me." 2 weeks later, Anna stood at her door in Spain, suitcase in hand, eyes full of that same softness she had the first day they met. Irina broke down crying the second she saw her. Not because she was sad, but because for the first time in her life something she wanted didn't slip away. Anna hugged her and whispered, "I'm home." Their life in the little house by the sea became gentle, sustainable,
Slow.
they went to tiny markets in the mornings, bought fresh fruit, sat on the terrace listening to the waves while drinking coffee. Irina healed piece by piece. Anna learned to love without fear again. They slept holding each other every night. They learned to trust that love doesn't have to be chaos to be real. Love can be peaceful. Love can be calm. Love can be slow. Love can be the thing that keeps you grounded instead of the thing that destroys you.
Irina started painting again.
Anna translated medical papers remotely for clinics. Their life was ordinary, but in the most beautiful way. And one evening, when the sky near the sea was painted deep orange, Irina realized something important. She didn't fear the future anymore. Not because the future was guaranteed, but because she wasn't facing it alone. Anna once told her, "The night I held your hand in that hospital room, that was the night your heart began again." And Irina answered, "No, that was the night ours began." Now, every time the waves hit the rocks outside their little home in Spain, they remind Irina of that moment. The moment she almost lost everything, only to realize life was quietly bringing her exactly where she needed to be. And sometimes the most beautiful love stories aren't the loud ones. They are the ones that grow inside brokenness and choose to stay. Love didn't save her instantly. It healed her slowly, patiently, softly, and it stayed. And this is why, when she walks with Anna at night along the shore, hand in hand, she knows she is exactly where she was meant to arrive.